Hey guys, first regardsman here, and let me be talking about a brand new post from Saber Interactive talking about the TECHMARINE gameplay breakdown. This was posted around 29 minutes ago. This gives us the full perk tree of the TECHMARINE alongside insight on the Tarantula Sentry guns and other gameplay mechanics. Now, first up, it says, greetings Space Marines. In today's blog, we'll be giving you a complete presentation of the upcoming new class, the TECHMARINE. Now, the playstyle here is a bit of a follow-up on the Xbox Wire article we had before. They say the TECHMARINE is a specialist in crowd control and zoning. His arsenal can hold off both crowds of enemies and individual dangerous opponents, while his allies safely deal damage. Gameplay-wise, the TECHMARINE is a mixed class with a slight melee bias. Unlike the Bulwark, who also keeps enemies away from attacking classes, the TECHMARINE is more focused on pressuring enemies with wide AoE melee attacks and mid-range firearms. So he is going to be an overall hybrid class from the sounds of it. We talked about this a bit previously in the other article, but as far as the gameplay for this is concerned, I think that crowd control effects are pretty popular in games like this. I think the Bulwark is a little bit too melee focused for some players. Some people do just want to shoot, so having this option as a hybrid class to just properly blow through entire hordes could be pretty damn fun, but we'll get more into this in a bit. Next up, they talk about the abilities here. His special ability, the servo gun, unleashes a powerful volley on nearby enemies. Additionally, the TECHMARINE can detect and activate Tarantula Sentry guns on the levels. They will attack enemies until they run out of ammo or are destroyed. Now, we already knew about this, but here's the actual gameplay of the TECHMARINE servo gun. As you can see here, it will automatically target. This is a pretty damn cool thing to see. We already knew it was going to be like an automatic AI-controlled weaponry because there is a perk we'll get into later that talks about making this only target Majoris and higher, but this thing absolutely minces these Hormigons. We don't know what difficulty this is on, but this thing does look pretty damn cool. Looks to be the Vulture specialization because there's also a Plasma and Sniper variant we'll talk about in a bit. Now, this is the TECHMARINE's Tarantula Sentry gun here, so as you can see, he has a very short repair time, and it will also automatically target guys for you, and it's taking hits from Sword Warriors, so we'll see how much damage it can actually take in the future. Now, this does kind of worry me a little bit because this thing gets blown apart in like 2 seconds, but we'll see. We don't know what level this is for the TECHMARINE. We're also going to be getting a public test server for this in the future, so having the Tarantula Sentry gun be a bit more powerful than it appears here is probably going to be likely in the official release, so I wouldn't worry about this too much, but for now it does look pretty cool. Now, they also say a unique characteristic of the TECHMARINE is the integration of the servo gun during gun strikes. This allows for greater movement freedom compared to other classes during these actions. For instance, you can perform melee attacks while using a gun strike. Now, I think that this will be a very popular option for newer players because a lot of players just want to be fighting all the time. They don't want to be worrying about timing mechanics because I think that parry timings, timing your gun strikes, these are difficult things for new players in a lot of games. This is why games like Sekiro are harder than Dark Souls, because Dark Souls has a shield you can just block, and Sekiro requires you to time your mechanics. And I think that those are generally harder mechanics for newer players and more casual players. This could be a very popular class for new players because of that. Now, we also get a confirmation on the loadout of the TECHMARINE here. So first up, the arsenal. The TECHMARINE can confirm to use the following weapons. Primary weapons: auto bolt rifle, heavy bolt rifle, Oculus bolt carbine, and the plasma incinerator. And for the secondary weapons, the bolt pistol, the heavy bolt pistol, plasma pistol, inferno pistol, and the neo volkite pistol. Now, previously, we knew from the leaks that we had access to the bolt rifle, heavy bolt rifle, Oculus, and plasma, and the plasma pistol and inferno pistol, but there are 3 new added here for the secondary options, and 1 more added to the primary, the auto bolt rifle. Now, for the melee weapons, guys, this is cool because we have confirmed 4 melee weapons for this class. You get a combat knife, a power sword, a power axe, and an Omniscience axe. That is way more than I expected. Previously, the only confirmed ones were the Omniscience axe and the power axe from the leaks, and now we know we get 2 more on top of that. My dream here is we also get a power sword for tactical, and they add that into the future class here, but seeing this is pretty awesome. And they also say, as you can see, the TECHMARINE's unique array of weapons includes the standout Omniscience axe. This new melee weapon is exclusive to the TECHMARINE. It's perfect for handling multiple smaller enemies simultaneously due to its wide AoE attacks. It also has a special move, the Omniscience rush, which makes the TECHMARINE's rush forward, impaling the enemies. Now, we'll have to wait for the public test server to see how strong this ability is. The previously added assault ability for the dash attack was positively garbage, but hopefully this is pretty strong. We also have actual gameplay footage of the TECHMARINE's Omniscience axe here if they posted on the Focus videos, or the Focus community page, I should say. And here we see that it primarily has some pretty wide arcs, very similar to the power axe in that way, with a little bit more single target on the overheads. Hopefully the damage on this is quite strong. We don't know what the actual stats are going to be for the block and defense types, like the fencing and stuff like that. As far as the rush attack goes, I don't know if we can see it very easily here. The executions look pretty damn amazing. We did have previously leaked things. That looks to be the rush attack right there. But as far as like previous leaks for this, we did know what the executions were going to be. And this weapon, for the most part, is probably going to be slow moving because it is a two-handed weapon. We don't know which variant this is. It could be like the fencing version. It's at least the fencing or balance version because we saw a parry there. So I would imagine the block version is going to be significantly slower than this, but hopefully those overheads have a dramatic damage buff on those block charges, which is what I'm looking forward to. And man, that execution looks sick. As far as the perk tree for this is concerned, it said we thought you might be interested to know the perks the TECHMARINE will have. You can check out this short video and pause to read all the perk effects, but keep in mind that some values can still change until the release of patch 12. A lot of these perks here are the same as they were leaked back in June, because June we did have a huge data mine on the siege mode test server that gave us pretty much all the information we wanted here. So for the most part, I'll do like a future breakdown on these, but they do look pretty damn similar. Now, I'm really interested on the team perks here because the team perks were a little alarming. So here we have Battlefield Repairs. All team members, let's see if I can actually read this properly. All team members fully regenerate their armor and gain additional armor when using Medicae sims. This one sucks. So like that was also leaked in the previous leaks we had, and I thought it was garbage there. It's a pretty bad team perk. Hopefully they change that in the official release, but we'll see. Let me see if I can get to the other team perks. I'll go over these in like a different video at some point in time, but for now, I'm very curious to see team perk selection because that says a lot for team comps. Here we have Combat Squad Resupply. All team members gain an additional equipment, excluding melt-the-bombs. These are all the same as the leaks. And if we go up to the first one that I missed a little bit, this is Reinforced Position. This one could be really cool because it says all team members within 15 meters of an active trenchless sentry gun take 25% less damage. That is very substantial. And they will deal, I believe it is 15% more damage. That is a great buff. This could be one of the better options, especially if they buff up the sentry guns like we saw up here to be a little bit more powerful in terms of HP, so they don't just get blown up by Tyranid warriors and stuff like that. But that is a pretty massive buff. That is actually better than the Glorious Shield perk on Bulwark, and Glorious Shield already is a substantial damage decrease. And this is also giving you more damage on top of that. I don't know if this is multiplicative or additive yet, but we'll find out in the PTS. But so far, it's a pretty strong option, and all of these are pretty damn good. See if we see the Prestige perks yet. I don't know if they're going to give us access to those. Oh, here we are. This is what I'm really curious about. Now, for the Prestige perks, this is one of the things I'm the most curious about because we didn't have these leaked at all. Here we have Chained Headshots, which is literally just a percentage increase on every headshot that lasts for 5 seconds, up to 15%. This is just the Acuity perk from Tactical, just copy-pasted to TECHMARINE for now. These are subject to change, like I said before, but I'm not super excited they're copy-pasting perks on this. Now, Revive Surge just gives you a bit of a buff after reviving your teammate for 10 seconds. Revive perks like this, it usually sucks, so I doubt people are picking this up a ton. Stim Boost is a good perk. This is just resilience from the Bulwark and Tactical once again. Just give you 40% more HP on stims, which is good for pickup economy. And Volatile Sentry, this one makes your sentry gun's explosion deal 40% more damage. So the actual explosion of your sentry gun that we saw up here will do damage to the enemies, which is pretty interesting. I didn't actually think this would be a mechanic in the game, but I guess it is a pretty neat thing to, like, depending on the damage of this, the 40% buff could be pretty substantial, but we'll have to see until the actual gameplay in the PTS. Now here we have Blast Radius. This is just the perk from the Vanguard and Sniper, I believe, that will buff up your equipment damage radius, which is pretty good, but like not super interesting. And then we just have Scramble Targeting renamed, which is 20% range damage reduction on being surrounded by 5 more enemies, which is a copy-pasted perk again. And then the most interesting one down here is a melee damage buff for 5 seconds after a gun strike. We do know this class can automatically gun strike, so I think this will be a pretty popular option and probably one of the better options overall. Now, the big thing I want to talk about here is that there is a severe lack of, number one, ammo economy perks in this, which doesn't matter too much because our weapons up here are relatively ammo efficient. Things like the auto bolt rifle and the bolt rifle outside the accuracy variant and heavy bolt rifle are all pretty good for ammo economy on their own, and the Octopus bolt carbine is alright as well, and the plasma incinerator is probably going to suffer the most because without the plasma boost perk on tactical, this weapon does not seem that strong in my opinion. Now, as far as the lack of damage reduction, now my biggest worries for this Prestige perk tree is that we don't have a health increase like Fortitude, and we don't have any damage reduction here directly. Now, Fortitude is a very important perk in Space Marine to as a 15% HP increase on all the other options for the prestige perks, and a 30% on the heavy class, and the bulwark already has a 30% starting HP. If this class does not have any type of HP increase, I didn't read over the rest of the perk tree, so I might just be missing it entirely. But if it doesn't have any other HP increases, it will be the lowest overall HP in the game, and that would put it into like nuke category for like getting blown up, which could be pretty problematic depending, but we'll have to see. Like, again, these are all subject to change here, so we'll, in the official public test server, we'll actually get to have like some feedback on that if it is a problem, so I wouldn't worry too much. Now, they say that's it for our TechMarine blog. We hope it gave you a complete overview of this new class, and you're excited to test it when patch 12.0 releases. So patch 12 is coming out in a few weeks. TechMarine will be a free update in case you're unaware, and the public test server is going to be coming out like tomorrow or something, depending. So I'm looking forward to this. I'll be playing it on this channel and streaming it on Twitch and YouTube. So if you're curious about seeing early access gameplay to this beyond this article here, it will be on this channel, so keep that in mind. And as far as my thoughts on TechMarine overall, this class looks really damn fun. The fact it's getting 4 melee weapons, that is pretty incredible, especially for a hybrid class. Like, this is more melee weapons than the Vanguard has, which is pretty crazy because that's like the only other hybrid class in the game currently. And a focus on crowd control and unique mechanics like this is pretty fun, and hopefully the leveling experience is pretty decent as well. We'll make a different video on that eventually, but for now, guys, that's all I have to say on the TechMarine. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Are you excited for the TechMarine class? And as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye.